Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler video series videos I do for the one. I go over there, try food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I don't often review this particular item, but I have reviewed it before. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom! It's my Tim Scold shirt, which I really like this shirt. Not only do I like the design and everything, but it's actually the tour shirt because, if you are unfamiliar with Mr. Tim Scold, he is a musical artist who typically works sort of in various industrial kind of electronica genres. He's been doing it for a long time, man. He's been around, and all kinds of projects. This was when he was on his solo tour. At the time I'm doing this, it was a few months back that I went over there and got to see him perform. And then a little bit after that, he actually came back around with his frequent collaborator Nero with their project Not My God, and I got to see that. That was really fucking cool. And yeah, man, Tim Scold, super talented guy. Really enjoy basically everything that he does. So much so that not only did I buy a shirt, but I actually took some videos of the performances that I've seen of him, not only in his solo stuff, but also in his Not My God stuff. They are on my channel as well, just in case you want to check out some nifty music in between the food reviews. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it something that I've reviewed, but Well, folks, that's because we're headed back to, boom, Jollibee, what with the Jollibee and such. But we're not doing chicken. No siree, Bob Rooney. I've already reviewed some chicken sandwiches from them. Today we're doing their, and I have to make sure I don't fuck this up, boom, we're doing their Jolly Spaghetti. So, I don't typically review spaghetti because it's not a thing that I would typically review in a truck. But, interesting fun fact, so Jollibee is like, it's a fast food place. They specialize in fried chicken, but they've also got other stuff, one of which is spaghetti, which might seem a little bit weird by fast food standards, but it turns out that the Philippines are really into spaghetti. And I actually learned this before trying Jollibee. I went over there, I tried a local Filipino spot called Marciana's Kitchen, where they had spaghetti on the menu, and I was confused as fuck. But then I went over there and I asked some people, and they're like, no, it's a thing. So I did review some spaghetti from Marciana's Kitchen. Go watch that review if you want my opinion on that. But now we're doing the Jollibee stuff, so let's kind of get it in there. It looks like there's little hot dogs in it, which if that's the case, that's... I've never... I've heard legends of the mixed spaghetti from McDonald's, which I never got the opportunity to try. So this will be my first time with fast food spaghetti. But, I mean, hey, what the fuck, right? And then there's Guy McGuy, who's over there fucking like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, there's some douchebag who was over there just like, he went into the Jollibee earlier and he was kind of looking at me, which it's like, yeah, okay, I've got my, phone on the thing and stuff. I'm obviously doing something. But it's like when people do, it's like, what the fuck do you expect to see? It's like, I'm clearly just doing what the fuck ever I'm doing. Mind your business. Anyway, let's try out some fast food spaghetti because fast food spaghetti is a thing. Open. That's kind of... And yeah, those are like little hot dog pieces. It's okay. Like, it's not bad. I mean, I don't have anything else to go off of in terms of fast food spaghetti, so I can technically say it's the best and worst fast food spaghetti I've ever had. It's perfectly fine. I mean, it's spaghetti, right? Spaghetti isn't all that complicated of a dish. It's noodles with some sort of a tomato or meat sauce. So it's just getting those things right. The spaghetti itself is fine. Seems to be cooked perfectly fine. It's, tender. That aspect of things is okay. It's not the most complex spaghetti I've ever had, but then spaghetti doesn't have to be that complex. Like, it can just be simple and easy. Even when I got the spaghetti from Marciana's Kitchen, it's very home-style spaghetti, and that's perfectly okay. So at that point, the main thing that I'm working with is the sauce. How does the sauce work? Well, Marciana's Kitchen, it was a very home-style kind of sauce, and it had a fair amount of sweetness to it, which I was a little bit here or there on. Like, it was still really good for what it was, but it was a little bit different than sort of the spaghetti type that I tend to go for, like the sauce. I tend to prefer a more hearty, kind of sauce with like very tomato, like with the acidity and everything. Sweet spaghetti sauce, it has its place. It's kind of what I grew up with as a kid more, I think. But as I've gotten older, I do prefer spaghetti with a little bit more complexity, a little bit more depth. This does not have the same sweetness, but nor does it have like a great deal of depth. It's a very simple sauce for whatever it is. It's fine. It's kind of neutral. And I think I can kind of understand why. Because fundamentally, it is a fast food sauce. You're trying to make it as appealing to as many people as possible. So when it comes to that, I get the idea. You don't want to go too much one way or another. As a result, it's perfectly okay. It's kind of, like I said, sort of neutral. It's lacking in any real personality, though. It doesn't do one thing all that well. It's just a very basic sauce. It's not doesn't taste particularly of tomato, doesn't have, the acidity, doesn't even have like a sweetness to it. It's just kind of an okay tomato sauce. I don't dislike it or anything. And it works in the capacity that it's being asked to work in. It works. It works in the very odd position, again, of being a fast food spaghetti, which is just a weird thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not trying to shit on it. It's just an interesting concept to go off of. Because, again, spaghetti, not actually all that complicated. But I would typically think of it, a little bit higher end setting than this. But the little hot dog pieces are nice. They're very firm. And they actually, I'm almost wondering if they're almost more like a pepperoni or something. Because they do have like a decent little hit of flavor to them. Yeah, they're a nice add-in. I mean, overall, it's not bad for what it is. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Sure, and kinda. So, would I go out of my way to get it again? Like, am I going to come to Jollibee for the Jolly Spaghetti? No, I'm not. I would go to, like, an actual place and get actual spaghetti, or maybe even just potentially make my own. Spaghetti isn't super hard to make. And I can make it more to my person, my personal affinity for what it is. But at the same time, there is something novel and kind of fun about the fact that they have spaghetti at a fried chicken place. I could see occasionally getting it. It wouldn't be a go-to item for me, but I could see it being a thing. Now, if I am comparing it against Marciana's Kitchen, because again, it's the only real comparison I have to work off of, Marciana's Kitchen, is definitely better. It's personalized, even if the sweetness aspect was a little bit here or there for me, the overall of what it was definitely just a better spaghetti dish. But again, fast food spaghetti, I'll kind of give it to it. Now, if I'm recommending it to people, if you're trying out Jollibee and you see it on the menu and you think to yourself, give it a go. I don't think you're going to dislike it. It's just not particularly spectacular spaghetti. But it's fine. Again, there's nothing, I didn't dislike any aspect of it. Worst case scenario, it was a little bit sort of middle of the road. You know, it did what it needed to do, which again was be fast food spaghetti. And I don't hate that. But if you do want proper spaghetti, go out for proper spaghetti. This is not that. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of the day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly spaghetti-tastic rest of your life, because, I mean, spaghetti is good. So, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you gotta do, folks. You're gonna try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. And the fact of the matter is, folks, is that life can be very stressful and bullshitty, and it can be rough sometimes, folks, especially when you occasionally get people walking by your car looking at you funny. Deal, folks. We do live in 2023 at the time I'm doing this. I don't know when you're watching it. It could be 2084, and you could be some sort of, like, you know, cyborg, like, fucking Tyrannosaurus hybrid. Hybrid. That's how you say that. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. I already did that. It's important when we run into situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know, like, if you have any experience with, like, other Filipino establishments and stuff. You know, how prolific is the spaghetti thing? Because I've only gone to 2 places, you know, and they've both offered it. You know, I would like to try more Filipino food, but I'd have to travel a little bit. I'd probably get to it eventually. But, like, is it, like, you know, like, is it, like, just a regular thing that's just expected to be there? Or, like, how does that whole thing go? Because I find it genuinely kind of fascinating. It's really interesting when you do have, like, these international dishes that, you know, make such big impacts in markets you wouldn't typically expect. Here in America, it's like just whatever, you know, we pretty much take in everything and then usually find ways to fuck it up realistically. But sometimes, you know, it depends on what it is. Some things we improve upon it. But yeah, let me know if you've had any experience with, you know, Filipino food. And if you haven't, maybe you have that option and maybe give it a go. All right, bye.